The turtles get all the shine, but
in
Casey
gray
Jones is
sweatpants
badass.
and clearly a cuff, no less. Did you notice that?
I did not notice the gray sweatpants.
Oh, man.
He's our gray sweatpant hero. Listen,
Why do you think April was all in? He's got the gray sweatpants on, and it's a giant bulge.
Our family grows. The city itself will be our playground to use as we please, rewarding ourselves and punishing our enemies.
We've been looking for you, Miss O'Neill.
There is a new enemy, freaks of nature. Together, we will punish these creatures.
What the heck was that?
Looked like sort of a big turtle in a trench coat.
Awesome!
Excellent!
Yeah! I love being a turtle!
Great movie or the greatest movie?
I'm really excited.
As you should be.
Can I give you some background?
Yeah, please.
Growing up, Ninja Turtles were like the biggest thing in my life.
They were life.
I had a cereal bowl that was the Ninja Turtle.
Yep.
That I ate out of every morning until it cracked. Rest in peace, Leonardo.
Put in work.
I had a Ninja Turtles cup. I had a 3-foot stuffed Michelangelo, like a giant.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, large. The pizza shooter.
Yes.
The van. I had many, many action figures.
Yeah.
I had bed sheets and a blanket on my bed.
Yep.
I had the Ninja Turtles magazine.
I don't even think I knew about that, and I was a big fan.
Yeah, I had it. So that was all growing up, and then I watched this movie as an adult, and I'm looking to see how it stands up. I freaking love it.
It's awesome. It's so good.
I absolutely love this movie. There's no reason why it should work,
No.
and it does.
It works so well.
It's
so good.
so good.
I went in knowing, okay, the nostalgia's going to carry me. Even if it's bad, it'll probably give it a few extra points. I loved it. I
It's
had
so
much fun.
good.
It's so good. I was like, this movie works today. Like, let's fire it up for the kids.
Cam wanted to finish it. I'm like, I finished it last night when you went to bed. And he goes, what?
And it gave you a high, yeah.
He did not know, thank God. Because these are real ninja moves.
That's true.
No stunt doubles.
Yeah.
This is a good movie.
Yeah. It's solid.
I stand by that.
For an 8-year-old or a 38-year-old, it's still there.
Still works.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1990, rated PG. I truly don't know. I should look up at some point the line that's crossed to get from PG in the 90s to PG-13. But they said damn about 100 times.
Many.
And even a couple of bitchins.
And shit.
And shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I must have missed the shit.
I
typically don't
got
miss the
that.
shit. Yeah.
Cam and I got the shit.
So PG in the 90s, again, wild. Absolutely a wild place to be.
Yeah.
But the taglines and plots I found were 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles emerge from the shadows to protect New York City from a gang of criminal ninjas. And the taglines are heroes in a half shell, which standard should be that. Lean green and on the screen. And this ain't no cartoon.
Also true.
Plots done poorly.
I really tried to rack my brain on how to do a plot done poorly here.
Oh, I have one.
Oh, please take the floor.
Turtle people that know karate battle a scar-faced idiot and shoplifters alongside a sport-obsessed vigilante and a reporter that refuses to wear a bra.
Damn it. All right.
Accurate.
It's accurate, and it hurts that it's so accurate because I was thinking, oh,
but also I'm in. Sign me up.
None of that deters from the actual experience.
This one I saw was through contact with the mysterious ooze, 4 turtles in the sewers of New York mutate into intelligent, pizza-loving humanoids. Okay. And are mentored in the art of ninja combat by the wise rat Splinter. When the evil Shredder attempts to take over the world, the turtles set out to stop him. That's all you need to know. I mean, and a plot. It's cut and dried, done.
You got everything going in, you know what to expect.
All right, I got humanoid turtles. They were trained by a rat. They're trying to beat Splinter, whoever that is. Sign me up.
Yeah, lock in.
Let's go, guy.
Up. I also just wanted to add the addendum. Also, Raphael is very mad all of the time.
Mad. He's so angry.
He is. This is now, again, I think just what's built into a 90s movie is at least one person to maybe half of the cast are angry a lot of the time. Like, there's just someone's always pissed off. There's not a group of people just having a hoot the whole time. And Raphael takes the lead on just being pissed off.
But I also want to say, with the turtles, if you're talking to someone about the Ninja Turtles and they don't know what color is what person,
right?
I'm out. That's a non-starter.
Yeah?
Like, oh, God, yeah. If they're like, which one is that? I'm like, all right, this conversation's over.
You wait in the car. I'm going to finish
the blue one's Leonardo. You don't know. Is that Donatello? I'm like, okay, no. And I think which Ninja Turtle was your favorite says something about you.
I'd say that's kind of like the first.
It's like a litmus
quiz.
test for, so like Leonardo, okay, he's the leader. Michelangelo, all right, you're a class clown. Donatello, nerd.
Yeah.
Raphael, you probably got a chip on your shoulder.
Yes.
So who was your favorite?
I'll be honest. I feel like if I would have asked all my friends then, it would have been, we were all so pissed off at a young age. Michelangelo. I feel like everyone loved Michelangelo, but even if you didn't identify with him, he was just cracking jokes the whole time. So I always loved Michelangelo, especially because the nunchucks are just an excellent weapon. Like they can't.
Are they though?
As a kid, if you're looking at all 4 of those things, like swords,
Done.
yes, but but nunchucks, those are fun. Those are just a fun time.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Yeah. I think he's the funnest by far. So as a kid, you're just like I don't say identify with because again, it's a turtle,
humanoid,
right? But yes, Michelangelo and Leonardo are like my go-tos.
I was gonna say, who are you, Michelangelo?
I was, and Leonardo. I actually had a dream once that I was a Ninja Turtle, and I was Leonardo in the dream.
Okay.
I don't know what that says about me.
Says a lot. You're a leader.
I mean,
leaders
are born.
And when and when you're fighting with someone for a long time, you go, "Hey, we're better off without you. Hit the bricks." But then you come back together.
You come back.
So you're all about resolution.
Some people need space.
That's true.
Also, by campfire, maybe I see visions.
Listen,
things happen. Things happen.
Something we'll discuss later. So where we found it, Paramount Plus, or my DVD collection, if you want to come on by, it's over there. It's ready for borrowing. Director Steve Barron. So I did a little research on him and found not a lot of movies. This movie and Coneheads were his directorial experiences.
Another solid movie.
A solid 90s movie. But he absolutely was a smash hit of a music video director, directing videos for Toto. He did Africa and Rosanna.
Come on.
Michael Jackson's Billie Jean.
Get out.
Bryan Adams' Run to You, Summer of '69. He did Madonna, Kenny Loggins, Rod Stewart, ZZ Top. He was just like a juggernaut of music videos.
And then Turtles?
And then the Turtles. And then back to music videos. And then Coneheads, and that's it. He only directed this Turtles movie.
Wow.
The writers, Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird, and Bobby Herbeck, which by the sounds of it, Eastman and Laird were like, you didn't do a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, show, video game without their say so. Like they held the keys.
They were the creators of the Turtles. Which, did you see like how they came up with it and everything?
No.
Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird conceived TMNT as a parody in 1984. It was supposed to be a joke against like Marvel characters where they're like, incredible. Look what happens if they're turtles.
That's incredible.
Then they licensed the characters in 1987, and then the animated series began. So the animated series started first.
Yeah.
And then it had several reboots, which my question too is like, why does every iteration work? Live action, animation, it can be like old school 90s animation. It can be the new school. They've had different versions of the animated version in theaters now. Some are like hokey. Some like the one with Megan Fox.
Yeah.
Like they look kind of creepy or like weird CGI. But every version of it works.
There isn't a
I don't
bad
know
one.
how. And then about $1.1 billion worth of turtle toys were sold between 1988 and 1992, making them the third best-selling toy figures ever.
All as a joke. All as an LOL.
Just like, wouldn't this be funny? And then they're
If we
just
were
like,
rich as fuck.
actually, what a great idea this turned out to be.
Well done to you two. So the runtime is an hour 33. I didn't feel like it dragged. I felt like it cruised.
Pretty tight.
Yeah. And the monies they had for budget, $13.5 million.
Saw that.
I thought a pretty low budget for what they accomplished.
And Hensons were involved, correct?
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because you can tell with like Splinter, it has a very labyrinthy vibe.
I wrote it down.
And so I was just like, okay, this looks good.
Yeah.
But it didn't, it felt real somehow. Like the animatronics, everything. I'm
for
like,
a movie
how are
that's
they pulling this
30
off?
years old.
They're doing backflips and like, wow, well done.
Yeah. So that was their budget. Not very much, but boy, did it pay off, because it grossed $202 million, which is the second biggest U.S. opening ever up until that point after 1989's Batman. So these are Honey, I Shrunk the Kid numbers. This is under 20 and making over 200 mil. The reviews, the ratings and awards may speak differently. Rotten Tomatoes, I feel, did them dirty with a 42%.
Yeah, that's low.
That's low. IMDb is 6.8. That feels actually kind of higher than some of the other ones we've done. They're like the higher sixes.
And I think that's spot on.
Yeah.
I think about a 7.
Yeah.
I'm all about.
Yeah. And then on to my favorite category now, the Metascore, which lands at a 51. Because
I think that's low.
I think it's low, but the reason it's low is because it goes as high as 80 and as low as 0.
Come on.
Let's dive in.
And if you tell me Ebert, I'm gonna freaking chokehold him.
He's asking for trouble. Empire gave it an 80, a well-rounded, unpretentious, very funny knockabout adventure, subtly blended so that it's fun for all the family. 63, Washington Post. The script is peppered with clever lines. Even the transformation and expansion of cartoon violence into the live arena is achieved without resorting to realism. To balance the fighting, Splinter waxes philosophically on loyalty, perseverance, and anger. So we're getting a little more picky.
And what's wrong with that?
It's enough to knock it down from a 100 to a 63.
Okay. I feel like I'm getting angrier.
Yeah,
but
and
please continue.
as you should. We're going to stay to 63, around that number, with our good friend Ebert. He gave it a 2.5 out of
Go fuck
4.
yourself.
And he's all over the place. So he starts with, anyone unfortunate enough to have a Nintendo device in the house will be familiar with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
Who star in one of the most insidiously addictive Nintendo games. So it's unfortunate that this game is awesome.
So it's addictive, and that's
a problem.
Downfall?
Yes. On the Nintendo screen, the turtles leap, spin, cartwheel, and eat pizza. Everything they do is accompanied by the same maddening music, which plays over and over again until it drills itself into the tooth of your mind.
And this is the video game, right?
Yes, he's talking about the video game.
Okay.
Just to set the stage.
Okay.
There are said to be many levels to the video game, but I succeeded in penetrating only to the second level, you fucking noob, before I realized I had to abandon Ninja Turtles that instant or risk permanent psychic damage. So the whole first chunk of the movie
has nothing to do with the movie.
Has nothing to do with the movie. Now comes Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie. I did not.
Great. The review you're writing. Okay. So start here.
This is like a modern day recipe where it's like you just want to get to the ingredients with like, my father and I
scroll. Okay.
12 paragraphs. Okay, good. Let me get to the meat and potatoes. I did not walk into the screening with a light step and a heart that sang. For that matter, I did not walk out afterward with my spirits renewed. But this movie is nowhere near as bad as it might have been, and probably is the best possible Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie.
It's the only one.
It's the only one, but it's the best possible.
This is nonsense.
Yeah. He also ends the whole review with such a great line. Turtle, by the way, is a very funny word.
Is this real life? What is he
that
talking
not a funny
about?
Word? Dana Carvey took his advice because in Masters of Disguise...
Am I turtle enough for the Turtle Club? So he complains about how good the video game is and how he didn't understand it, and then jumps in the movie. It's the best version of what it could be.
Yeah.
And what did he get it?
63. Siskel drops us down to a 50 for the Chicago Tribune. He says the only thing this film has going for it is its improbable title and title song about 4 fighting turtles changed into upright man-sized creatures by exposure to radioactive wastes. I think Gene Siskel is a bit of a curmudgeon.
I don't think he gets it.
This is now multiple reviews
He's
where
like,
he is.
not realistic. How could turtles live in sewers?
Have you ever seen a turtle fight a rat? Not in my day. And
Well, they would never. They're on the same side.
Sure.
That's neither here nor there.
That's true. So now what drops the whole Metascore down to a 51 is Entertainment Weekly's 0. When a kid's flick has nothing to offer but cute special effects, it's easy to think the filmmakers are patting themselves on the backs for their technical ingenuity. That's not comic fantasy. That's marketing.
What are the special effects? It's all live action.
Listen, it's Entertainment Weekly.
That they're skateboarding in a sewer?
It remains to be seen, but Entertainment Weekly was not impressed.
Well, I'll have you know, Nick, it won 3 awards.
Yes? List them.
The 91 Kids' Choice Awards.
Okay.
That's no small feat.
Nothing to sneeze at.
The 91 BMI Film Music Awards.
Okay.
And the 1991 Worst Foreign Film. I don't know how that's an award.
No. Take that, Siskel.
And it's not foreign, so I don't get that. But it's still a win.
It's wins or wins.
Wins or wins.
And $200 million is also a win.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. So on to the cast. So we have Judith Hoag.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but Halloween Town.
Oh, so that's what I was literally going to go to. I was like, why does she look so familiar?
Halloween Town.
I knew, I was like, Jim's going to know. As soon as I saw Halloween Town, I was like, he's going to know that's what she's from. She's also from Armageddon, which I realized. So
yeah. You better believe.
She looked more familiar to me. I was like, oh, she's got to be in other things. She's in a bunch of TV stuff throughout the years. But
she's done well.
But Halloween Town 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
Let's not forget.
No.
Elias Koteas.
Don't know
another
how to
fun
pronounce
name.
it, but
These are just fun names.
And he's awesome as well.
Yeah. The Thin Red Line, Shutter Island, Look Who's Talking 2, and he comes back for TMNT 3. And probably, I would say, potentially the most popular or the most well-known person to add their flavor to this movie is Corey Feldman. Okay. The voice of Corey Feldman.
So this is what I have down. First off, I said to Kristen, who is the voice of Donatello? And she's watching and she goes, is that Corey Feldman? And I went, wow.
You don't. That voice is, especially for a 90s voice, that is.
But that's done.
Yeah, that's a solid one.
And then, do you know who the voice of Splinter is, Nick? His name is Kevin Clash. He also happens to be the voice of Elmo.
There he is.
Elmo, Nick.
Splinter to Elmo.
I'm listening to the whole movie. I'm like, I am not at any point hearing Elmo.
Yeah.
So we got
That's
Elmo
impressive.
and Corey Feldman in a movie as voices.
You don't beat it.
Sign me up.
Yeah. And Corey Feldman, when I think of his name, I go, oh, I know how big he is. But then you look at his resume, Stand By Me, The Lost Boys, Goonies, all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You're just like, damn, this guy
He did well.
was knocking it out of the park. Like, huge.
Late 80s, early 90s.
You
can't
couldn't
be
touch
touched.
him. You cannot touch him.
All right, let's take it from the top.
Even from the very beginning, I love the New Line Cinema opening. The music, it takes you back. You're like, let's
go.
We are in the 90s again. And also simultaneously, when the movie starts, I feel 100 years old. Like I'm taken back to childhood. And when the movie starts, I'm like, oh, I feel so old just watching it, but I feel so young at the same time.
But it pulls you in right away.
Immediately.
The theft in the opening sequence, and then you're introduced to Danny. You're all in. You're like, good. There's shoplifting going on.
Yeah.
Things are
They
happening.
don't waste any time.
And then they make a comment, who are we going to call? This is 6 years after Ghostbusters.
Yep.
You get some nostalgia with Ghostbusters. Us, like as a kid and as an adult, there's no part of me that is like, pass. I am not doing
0 to
anything else
60.
for the next hour and a half.
Hold my calls.
In.
Immediately, they waste no time. You have a whole pickpocketing, stealing operation going on in the light of day.
Yes.
Shredder and the Ninjas just out and about,
wreaking
not
havoc,
getting noticed, and they have no regard for people.
None.
And I think of all those little cut scenes, my favorite is the lady getting her TV stolen with her
sitting on the balcony. Yeah,
her absolutely crazy reaction. I
what a sweet setup, sitting on a balcony watching
get some
TV.
fresh air.
Good for you.
Well, until someone steals it. But it seems like the exchange that is happening for the teenagers, I don't see anything outside of. Well, I guess they get the suite set up. They get the suite pad to all,
some
hang
arcade
out.
games, pool,
but
poker.
They're all eating free Whoppers.
I have 9 deliberate product placements.
They
and the time that it comes in.
They pulled no.
The
punches.
Whopper comes in at 2 minutes and 38 seconds into the movie.
Yep.
Then you got Domino's.
Yep.
Ocean spray juice boxes.
Oh, I didn't see those.
Pepsi and an entire case sitting at it. at 31, 32, and 33 minutes. We got Gatorade, Turtle Wax, which, I mean, obviously.
Sure.
Domino's again, making a repeat appearance. Pepsi, Mountain Dew, and then JVC. They're all, like, the logos are all so prominently displayed. It's
I didn't even see the Mountain Dew one.
Oh, it is. They're playing poker, I think. And it's Pepsi and Mountain Dew at the table. And the labels are so clearly pointing toward the camera.
Perfectly.
Like,
what a refreshing drink.
Watch it, man. You almost spilled my delicious Mountain Dew.
Oh, not this Pepsi I was enjoying. How dare you? But a fun little note, which I'll spill now from our trivia and facts later. I found out that Pizza Hut paid $20 million as a part of a marketing campaign for this movie, even though Domino's, I feel like, was much more.
Yeah, there was no Pizza Hut.
So it wasn't in the movie, but the campaign afterwards where they did print, radio, TV, coupons and stuff. But like, I thought that was so funny. Of like, they paid all this money, and right away in the movie, you're thinking, well, I want some Domino's. I didn't think about Pizza Hut once in this movie.
It's like McDonald's busting in like, do you like Whoppers? Then you'll love our Big Macs.
You'll like our sandwich. It's called a Bopper. Come on down. Right away, right in the beginning. We have bad kids. We have theft. They're hanging out. Their hangout is awesome. Like, as a kid, you're just cool. Like, arcade games, smoking cigars, playing pool with my friends. Why not?
Is there anything better?
It's very much, and I thought this, and then I saw a note later on it. It's 100% Pleasure Island from Pinocchio, where all the kids go to hang out. I thought that I was like, this is kind of a Pinocchio thing, and then later there was like,
I didn't see any donkeys.
No donkeys, but some turtles.
Maybe in the boxes.
Who's to say?
You don't know.
April gets accosted. She's getting roughed up. It's looking bad for her.
Not good.
And out of the shadows comes a sigh. Hits the light and knocks it out. And my first thought was, that is a very unwieldy weapon to do that with. That
stupid.
It's a cool looking one. Now we're getting Ninja Turtles. But if you were to take one of those things and try to knock out a light with it, I think the first one's a miss.
Star be effective?
And that was my first thought too. I was like, well, none of them have the ninja stars, but they're all ninjas.
But they should.
I think you could get away with the excuse.
I think they should.
A size not getting it done. And that's when we get a Raphael dam, because April picks it up, she pockets it, and right away we're getting naughty. We're saying potty words. We have some potty language.
I had a hell and 2 dams in the opening 6.5 minutes.
Yep.
We had another dam at 14. Danny damn it at 30. And then Ninja Kick the Damn Rabbit at 39 minutes. I don't know what that even means. Is that a term? Ninja Kick the Damn Rabbit?
I don't. It's when they're watching the rabbit and the hare on the cartoon. Yeah, I don't know. Seems
unnecessary.
Seems unnecessary.
I didn't care for it.
Yeah. I wonder if they wanted to say more swears and they got pulled back.
I think
like,
they did.
All right, you've had 100.
Raphael just keeps going like, damn it. You're like, yeah, we get it. You're angry. We get it.
What I thought was like, imagine how many kids, if you were a parent around the movie, like it's like, damn.
Right.
Yeah, they did not waste a second. We're swearing.
No, let's jump straight into the dams.
Yeah, right in the deep end of the dams. But we're getting all the 90s. The music, we have payphones, we have excellent fashions going on throughout the movie. If you ever want some nostalgia, pop on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I wonder if this movie was either single-handedly eliminated or was a part in getting all kids on board to not even think about trying anchovies.
I was going to say, this
not for a second what I thought.
So this made me want to try anchovies.
Really?
Because they hate it so much. I'm like, well, what does it taste like?
Oh, so it's a reverse thing. So maybe Big Anchovy was in on this. Like, listen, tell them they hate it. They're gonna really want to come back around.
Like
again.
He hates anchovies. I was just curious. I'm like, so what is this mysterious fish?
So you tried anchovies as a kid?
I think so. We had sardines every once in a while on a cracker, which is just like an oily fish.
Yeah.
Anchovies are just salty.
Okay.
I don't even think it tastes like anything.
Well, good on you, because what it did to me was I will.
Listen,
if Michelangelo does,
I went, damn it!
On top of your house on the roof.
I was so angry.
But this is where you get Raphael. I'm going to a movie. He puts on a trench coat.
Spoiler alert, he was not going to a movie.
But he goes, and you just know, like, Raph.
What are you doing?
You look ridiculous. Like, no one is looking at you going, well, that's just your standard human walking around. Like, you are ridiculous looking. So at that point, why even wear the trench coat and hat?
Don't know.
What I enjoyed was that the movie he goes to see, which in a lot of movies, usually they're fake movies. This was not a fake movie. It was Critters, which was a real movie from the late 80s, I believe.
I didn't even catch that.
Was a real movie. So that kind of took, and his line to it, he goes, oh, where did they come up with this stuff? So I was like, meant to look up some research on like, was there bad blood
That's
between
funny,
production, like,
though.
or was that up? It definitely is funny, but I wonder if they're part of the same production company or something, because I did not expect a real movie to be on the marquee.
Huh.
But yeah, that was fun. I was like, oh, Critters, excellent. I feel like this movie is full of one-liners between Splinter and the turtles. Like, there's just constantly these lines that I guarantee all kids were saying. And one that I think still holds up is, wise man say, forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for pizza.
And they didn't.
And they didn't. And they were wise for doing so.
And that's one of my unanswerable questions.
Should you ever pay full price for pizza?
Just, does the pizza delivery guy deserve $3 less because he's 2 minutes late?
Well, I
seems
certainly
unfair.
remember a big marketing campaign in the 90s for
unfair.
pizza was in 30 minutes or less.
Oh,
so.
yeah. But he was 2 minutes late, so they gave him $3 less and no tip.
That's true.
That's cheap.
They did him a little
I'm
bit.
sure they have the money. I don't know how
Maybe.
they're...
I don't know.
I mean, great
Are they-
question. I don't know how they are affording their...
I don't know, and I don't want to know, quite frankly.
It's meager means. They don't have much in the sewer.
No, but they're fighting crime. At least, whatever they get, they deserve.
Which is probably not much. I don't know what they have.
Splinter, I feel like this poor guy's not getting any respect.
They're teenagers.
They are teenagers, which is true, but it's
To
like
their credit.
it's like the substitute teacher trying to take a hold of the class.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not working. Like,
He doesn't raise his voice either.
he doesn't. He does a good job.
Very mild-mannered.
Yes, but as soon as I saw Splinter, I thought of Didymus, the little dog from Labyrinth, who rides the dog.
Yes.
I was like, this is so... And so then
The
it was
whiskers,
later...
the face, the eyes.
It was later that I found out that it was Jim Henson, but I was like, it all makes
Oh,
perfect
you knew it
sense.
had to be.
It felt like it was there, but I was like, once it was confirmed, I was like, okay, good. Because
I waited for the credits,
Yeah.
and I saw like Jim Henson Company, and Brian Henson was like the assistant puppeteer. I'm like, yes, that checks out. It all had a very Jim Henson vibe.
Yes, it did.
And I thought I read that he was upset with how violent it was.
Yeah, we'll get into that. And
Okay.
into the fun stuff
Good.
later.
Good.
A character that I think was pretty underrated, because all the Turtles, obviously the movie is the Turtles movie.
Yeah.
I feel like such a strong character that I, as a kid, wanted to be
Go on.
Casey Jones.
Yes.
That mask. That, like, he was a badass. Like, he started off as kind of a bad guy, and then he turns to the good side. And that, I feel like that hockey mask, like, from the beginning, you were just like, damn, who's this guy? This guy doesn't take any guff.
I have a list of favorite things. Just the name Casey Jones
That's a good name.
sounds sweet.
All the names, April O'Neil, Casey Jones, these are solid
They're
names.
good.
Yeah.
But him showing up to, I don't know his obsession to any sport. He's got golf clubs, a cricket bat.
That's true.
A baseball bat, two baseball bats with black tape.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, he can only hold sports equipment. But it works.
Everyone's got their thing.
He's like a Happy Gilmore wannabe in the best way. He is incredible.
My immediate thought was, why is Raphael, what is his problem with Casey? Casey comes in, he's taking care of the bad guys, and Raphael's like, well, now I'm going to fight you. It's like, actually, it just seems like you're kind of both.
We can be on the same team.
Yeah, they're both kind of the same thing. And Casey kind of mops the floor with him. After
A little bit.
After Raphael tries to burn him with a Jose Canseco bat, tell me he didn't pay money for this.
Right.
Like, after he's trying to, like,
But hits him in a garbage can.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're supposed to be this like great ninja.
No.
He doesn't even have any ninja skills. He's just got a great uppercut
yeah.
golf shot, or sorry, I think that was a cricket bat.
Yeah, that's when he nails him the cricket bat. But this dude he does not look like one to be trifled with.
No.
And I also like the line cricket. Nobody understands what cricket is. You got to know what a crumpet is to understand cricket.
When Casey Jones hits him into the garbage can, he says 6 points. And I thought, is that accurate?
He could have said anything.
I think Raphael's right. I think no one does understand cricket.
Well, not in this country at the very least.
No.
But yeah, something I found funny was that, so this whole fight's going on. Raphael is pretty unbothered. Like, he's like, they're kind of razzing each other back and forth. But it is when Casey is leaving and he calls Raphael a freak that Raphael loses his damn
he doesn't
marbles.
like that.
I was like, he's just been beating your ass. Now, all of a sudden, you're upset that he called you a name as he runs
There
away?
are trigger words, Nick.
Yes, that's true.
And
You
I
can
think
punch
we
me all you want.
Right.
Sticks and stones, but
Exactly.
but names do actually hurt my feelings.
They sure do.
Yeah.
I have feelings. I'm a turtle. I'm a humanoid.
Do you mind?
And it cuts deep.
Yeah.
The shell only protects so much.
It protects the back, not the front where the heart is.
How
Right
dare
here.
you.
Right here, Casey. I also thought Raphael's voice is kind of terrifying. When he gets mad or he's yelling, I'm like, he's
liked
got
it.
my attention. I'm like, oh, like I straightened up my posture. I'm like,
I
sorry,
thought
sir.
all the turtle voices.
They're so good. They're so
I
good.
think it would freak me out. Like when you see people doing voice work and you see what they actually look like.
Yeah.
Like Bart Simpson is a woman and you're like,
Right.
whoa, I
Yeah.
can't. I think seeing the real people, especially Corey Feldman doing Donatello, I think would freak me out.
Well, Josh Pace, who plays Raphael, was the only actor who physically portrayed him and did his voice.
Oh.
So once you see him,
he
you know
is
you
Raphael through and through.
get to the bone. To the bone. Raphael, he's sensitive, he's upset, he gets mopped with Casey. I'm starting to notice, as a kid, I didn't remember so much of Raphael being the kind of focal point of this movie. Like, there's the turtles, but it's like, it's Raphael. Like, he's going through something. Like,
I remembered it.
He is he's the one who's like redeeming or trying to redeem himself or trying to work through something. Do we ever fully figure out what his anger is or what his kind of like thing is?
I don't think so.
He's just overprotective of Splinter and the family, but he never, it's not like, oh, someone killed my this. Like, it never like gets revealed what his kind of thing is.
He has a thing against Leonardo, like, oh, you're the leader, take control.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. I want to say the older I get, the more I feel like Raphael's on the right, where he's like, all right, Leonardo, you want to be the leader, then lead. But he does at the end.
Sure. Like, did Raph want to be did he want to be the leader?
I don't think so. I think he just wanted everyone to play their role.
Okay.
I think he was kind of in the right. Okay. And I think I watched Turtles 2 more than 1.
Okay.
Because I was so bothered by like him sitting in the bathtub recuperating. I was just like, I don't think I like that. It was like so sad. Yeah. And then April's like drawing pictures of them.
Oh my God.
Like, it's a pretty somber 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. And so I think the second one with like Bebop and Rocksteady eating donuts filled with things.
Yep.
I think I was more on board with that, but not that I've seen the second, but I'm sure number 1 is objectively a better movie.
Yeah.
It was just like too many emotions for my young brain to process.
Sure.
But I'm going to put this down. Let it be known. Raphael, I'm sorry. You were right. You were right. Okay?
Listen, we're all here and we're here to tell you were right.
I'm big enough to admit my mistakes. And you were right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So this is where we get introduced to kind of like April's story a little bit. Like, she's in her house. Her boss keeps showing up to her house, which I think after a few times, I'm like, that's kind of a weird dynamic. A little creepy. He's coming with his son all the time. It's just like, that's weird. I feel like lines
She's
are
brushing her teeth.
HR needs to know about this a little bit. I think I'm a little concerned.
I'm making a call.
One of the things that Charles says when he's talking about Danny, he goes, see, this is what he does when he wants to ignore me. He sticks his head in those things.
Yeah.
You mean headphones, Charles? You had headphones.
Oh, do you mean you put headphones on?
Oh, these? What are those things? What are those
odd contraptions?
You knew what those were. Like, let's not be silly.
Maybe he didn't, though.
Maybe that's part of his origin story. He never got headphones when he was a kid, so everyone's got their story.
This is how it begins.
And I feel like any crime movie is not complete without the mayor breathing down someone's neck. They're always there.
Well, this is the police chief.
Well, so the mayor's breathing down the police chief's neck,
chain of command.
Shit rolls downhill.
Yeah.
So the mayor's breathing down next. So now the chief of police is upset. I feel like he's going to have a heart attack more than once in this movie. He is screaming at everyone.
He's like sweating profusely.
He's upset.
He should probably go for a physical or something.
Yeah.
Just get checked out.
Yep. And this is where what I think is potentially the most problematic thing that happens in the movie.
Yes.
I'm problematic.
April finds herself in the subway, and here come the Foot Clan. They are ready to rough her up.
Sure.
And they have a little conversation with her. They say, "We've been waiting for you, Miss O'Neill." Do you know what April says back?
I don't think so.
What am I, behind on my Sony payments?
I don't get it.
It's not great. Sony's a Japanese company.
Yeah.
Not Japanese. I think she's making fun of the accents.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, it's a little. And there's a note later that gets into a little bit, but that line's not great. It doesn't hold up well.
That went way over my head.
Yeah. And then they smack her in the face and knock her out, which is also a bit jarring when you see it. You're like,
I have that as problematic.
That's troublesome.
So the funniest part about that, I didn't hear her response with Sony. Because I just heard him say, "I deliver a message," and he slaps her and says, "Shut it." And I'm like, that's kind of funny.
I mean,
but also maybe like the stupidest part of this movie, "I deliver a message." Boosh.
Could you imagine how many older siblings did that after they saw the movie? Like, oh,
I'm still
writing that in my book to hit my younger brother later.
Hey, do you
have these
right
here upside your
head? I do that at work. Like, hey,
Beatrice,
I was going to email you, but also
I had this
shut it.
This is where Splinter starts to talk about their story. He says he was a pet of his master Yoshi, and I was hoping to find some fun fact about a Mario tie-in or anything, but
that would be wonderful.
I didn't.
I think it's a pretty common name.
I think so, but my little 1990s child heart, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Nintendo and Mario. That's all you would have needed to make my mind explode. But the origin story's solid. They lay it all out. I love all the all the video footage of them, Splinter learning from his master, all the turtles growing up. It's
and him standing.
It's, oh my God. Every time when he's showing the master Yoshi doing his moves and then he does his little moves, I was dying laughing. I was like, this is
He's also
great.
in a bird cage.
It doesn't.
What rat is like suspended in the air in a bird cage, and then he's like doing his karate moves? Like, can we get this guy a proper cage?
No.
Something
Bird
on
cage
the
for
ground?
No.
Maybe a tube or a wheel to crawl in?
Not in this house. Our turtles go in bird
clearly
cages.
not.
And then they drop this joke, which I'm hoping you might understand because I certainly didn't, which is, are you sure where you're going? Say 11th and Bleecker. And then you hear, nope, this is only 9th Street. Get it? I don't get that.
I guess it smells. Yeah, I don't know.
You know what? Maybe you had to be in New York City in the early 90s to know that joke.
And
the
I
sewer
wasn't.
system, yeah. So it went over my
That's my
childish head. As they start dropping all kinds of references to Rocky and Cagney, I was like, no, not a single child. This is for the parents. Not a single child. Maybe the Rocky. Maybe, maybe. But
it's Raphael too, so more adult humor maybe for him.
Right.
Also, a star reporter lives above a secondhand antique store, and she keeps it open for her dad. You can't afford anything else?
Not in that time.
Apparently not on that salary.
Not on that salary.
Not in New York.
And she's always in trouble. She's always about to get fired. So she needs to be mindful.
Okay.
But they're at the dinner table. They're cracking jokes. April makes the joke that Splinter would like the "you dirty rat," the Cagney reference.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they get very serious. Like, they were all just joking. Where did your sense of humor go?
Dirty rat, though. Too far.
I guess, but
that's like calling Raphael a freak. There are lines in the sand.
It wasn't even, she didn't even do the quote. They were quoting the line and she made a comment on it. So it's like, so you thought it was funny enough to bring up and quote with me, but me like commenting on that was where it crossed the line?
You can make fun of your own family.
Grow up, turtles.
It's too far. They're not close enough yet. Like, they haven't established that relationship.
I see.
Just
I think it's a
tread
bit
lightly.
much.
That's all.
Everyone, take it easy.
They're very protective over Splinter. That's understandable.
Sure. But the boss, Charles, he keeps coming to her house, like repeatedly.
Great. Welcome back. Oh, good to see you.
Yeah, as she's in her pajamas, like, just come on in. Like, I think lines are getting crossed here, but fine, I guess.
Her refusal to wear a bra, I think...
This movie was not sponsored by Victoria's Secret. No, not at all. Unless it was reversed, like the anchovies thing.
Oh.
And kids are repeatedly smoking cigars. Like, we are. It's not even they're smoking cigs. Although they make the joke about, oh, you want menthol, you want cigarettes,
right?
Which did you see? Did you see who that was? Who the thug was with the cigarettes? Sam Rockwell.
Welcome to the
with
party.
With a fun little light mustache. Yeah. Kicking down doors.
Probably not even real.
No, probably not real. But this hangout, this looks awesome. There are arcade games, skateboarding ramps, roulette tables, cigarettes. It's everywhere. Although
empty boxes for some reason.
Weird scaffolding that is at any moment going to fall. Like, the whole place definitely feels like it's built by kids. Although it's run by the adult, the ninja, the Foot Clan.
Is it run by them though, or are they just there? It just seems like things are happening.
Yeah, they're just kind of letting them do. They're letting them do their thing, but then they still, at the end of the day, come and do their bidding.
And if someone has a tantrum, you want to make sure things fall over easily. So, like, there's nothing in the boxes. The scaffolding is ready to fall because you don't know when you might need that to just tip over.
I'm just telling you, listen, Tetsu, if you want your teenagers to be in top shape, maybe repair the scaffolding so it doesn't fall over and crush half of your, the people do your bidding. I mean, just give it a think.
Plus, at one point, he just starts beating everyone up.
Oh,
like,
my God.
Is this the best strategy?
That's please. You're going to be too excited.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We get Shredder, and God, is he a good bad guy. His helmet. Oh, my God. Like, as soon as you see him, you're just like, yes. Like, he is an awesome
I could tell, though, now as an adult, that the little spikes on his shoulder, maybe not spikes, maybe they're foam.
Okay.
They, like, move and ripple a little bit in the movement, but...
That's none of our business.
Still...
That's
no, you're right. That's neither here nor there.
Let our minds just bask in the imagination here. One of the teenagers gets like his Foot Clan mask, and Shredder does it with the hand that has the blades on it. And for a moment, I'm like, that's a bit terrifying.
Yeah.
As this blade comes right by your face, and I put a mask on it, like it's
and not great design.
No,
I don't know who designed his claw.
Looks cool,
hands.
But.
Maybe it's not practical.
No, not practical.
It's like the Guinness Book of World Record people that grow out their nails.
Looks
you can't
cool.
do anything. You can't do anything.
It looks great. It's a great look, but
I mean, kind of. But it's not practical.
No, it's certainly not.
And you're gonna want practical as a ninja.
That's
I
true.
would assume.
Yeah. And Shredder hits us with "I am your father," and you just know. He's giving out the Darth Vader vibes.
Yeah.
Strong. And we're getting a lot of April on TV, and the turtles just full on
Loving her.
not just loving her. Like they've all got crushes on her. Like she is a babe. She's so hot. It's like, fine. I'm giving you 1 or 2 passes, but it's been every time she's on TV, they're all just like,
and they're
coursing
turtles.
with.
I mean, I don't know what puberty is like in turtles.
It ages differently. You just never know.
Everyone is different.
That's true. But these teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are. They're having a hoot.
Yeah, they sure were.
When it comes to April, and doesn't seem bothered by it. She's just around. Oh, you guys, like she never.
Yeah, she kind of.
They're respectful when they're around her.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it too much, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
Like turtles being attracted to a woman, but they don't really. They kind of keep their distance.
That's
it's
true.
like.
It's just when she's on TV.
I think there's a level of respect.
Yeah, I think so.
Her and Casey Jones clearly have a thing, and they're happy for them. Like
That's
they're
true.
kind of cheering
That's
them
true.
on.
They could have got jealous.
So I think it could have gotten weirder.
It definitely could have got weird. Her and Casey's thing
I'm
wasn't.
actually okay with that movie.
Okay.
If it gets weirder.
I want this movie to get weird. I want
just
Jim Henson.
Let's go down a different.
You've been
route.
responsible for Labyrinth. Let's get weird. Let's
We
really
could
get
go
weird.
real off the
we know
deep
we
end
could.
here.
But April gets interviewed and she's talking about the crime. One of the things that stood out that I'm going to file potentially under problematic is I've been speaking with a lot of Japanese Americans and they say this crime is reminiscent of the Foot Clan. And my thought was, could you imagine that scenario? She's just going around New York City. And she's like, they look Japanese. Oh, your thoughts? I'm like, I live here. What are you talking?
It's just a weird statement. Like
you could just say, I've been talking to a lot of people, and this is what they say.
Hi, do you know anything about the Foot Clan? I do. I'm Japanese American. Thank you for
I'm so
asking.
glad you asked me. And there's there's all the accents in the movie where I feel like, this movie definitely in the wrong hands could have been a nightmare in terms of like really hammering down on accents and like making it ridiculous or like being very racist. Yeah. I feel like it was on the line. There was a part of me that was cringing a little bit throughout. I was like, oh, is something going to happen? And
I'll be honest, I was so enamored with everything I could not even.
I was just hoping that I was like, please don't be I don't want to apologize for this movie now. Like,
I think I was probably just grinning the whole time watching that I didn't even hear.
You didn't even see April get smacked across the face and punched.
I saw that.
And this is where you get a big fight scene that starts on top of the roof where Raphael's there and he's upset. And then it goes into April's apartment. Listen, he spends a lot of his time being upset. Yeah. He's angry.
And on the roof.
Yeah, and on the roof. Yelling, damn. Raphael, they're fighting up there. They end up in April's place. They're fighting in there. Then they go through the floor of her place, and the ceiling of the antique store. They're fighting there. This is a long fight scene.
It is.
And it's awesome because things are on fire and it's getting cooler by the second. They say, Ralph will be back any minute. And there he falls and he's knocked out.
Yeah.
And the line to that is, he's alive, but barely. So how are you assessing that quickly?
I didn't see anyone checking a pulse.
No, you just looked at him and he's knocked out.
Look,
he's
listen, feel for signs of life. They did none of those things.
Turtles. Would you crack open a book sometime? Like, stop ogling April all the time and maybe read a book.
That was one of my answerable questions.
Oh.
Was it stupid for the Foot Clan to throw Raphael into April's apartment? Because they threw him through the skylight.
Yeah.
They could have just left him on the roof.
True.
But they chose, if you want to save him, here he is.
Yeah.
So, was it stupid? Yes. This
unanswerable question is answerable.
Yeah, they probably shouldn't have done that.
But you know what looks cool in a movie? Someone getting thrown through some glass, things breaking,
Man,
things
does
on
that
fire.
Look cool. Every time I've been thrown through a skylight.
I think my favorite part of the whole thing is when the Foot Clan, the ninja comes in and he starts handing out axes to everyone.
Yes.
I actually burst out laughing at that because I was like, who's this guy who's having to run down New York City with all these axes? Like, oh, all right, here you go.
I just assumed he had a truck and was going to grab supplies.
But him coming in with all the axes and handing them out, one for you. Greg, back here. Here's your axe.
And they're all wearing masks, so you don't know who's who.
That's true. That makes it all the more
That's
difficult.
a tough job. I feel like you're really kind of shitting on that job a bit. Could you do it? That's a tough role.
You're right. Listen, I'm human, and I can admit when I'm wrong.
Okay.
And here I am, and I'm wrong.
And they're sharp. You got to be careful when you grab those
That's
things.
true.
They're cutting at the floor. They fall through it.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't play out in their
Someone
favor.
sharpened them. It was probably him. He probably sharpened those
earlier. He's putting in extra work. My apologies.
Yeah.
And we get Casey. He comes to save the day and kicks some ass some more. The turtles get all the shine, but
in
Casey
gray
Jones is
sweatpants
badass.
and clearly a cuff no less. Did you notice that?
I did not notice the gray sweatpants.
Oh, man.
He's our gray sweatpant hero. Listen,
Why do you think April was all in? He's got the gray sweatpants on, and it's a giant bulge. Like he's clearly wearing a cod piece or a cup or something.
That's all him. So you know what? So there's this renaissance now of gray sweatpants of men, but Casey Jones is the OG.
Tell me twice.
He's the OG.
Yes.
Well
I
done
think
to
he
you.
might have created it.
He started the look. So well done to you, Casey. Cool ass hockey mask.
Still holds up.
Gray sweatpants.
The sexual tension between him and April, I feel like 75% of that is due to the gray sweatpants.
That's fair, and that's what he wears a lot of the time. So
hey, you go with what works.
But during the fight, the phone drops down. Charles fires April over the answer machine.
Yeah, that's a dick move.
Bad form, Charles. You literally go into her place all the time. This is the time that you decide to call her and do this.
I think it was out of anger.
Yes,
it was misguided for sure.
Yeah,
he was just worried about his own ass.
Yeah. So then Splinter has a conversation with Danny. He tells him, "I can talk and also listen." Splinter's just. He's got all the. He knows when to say all the right things.
How does he learn all this too? He's so wise.
He is. He really is. And
all from watching his murder or his master get murdered, he's just like
it started him down the path.
Smart rat.
Yeah, he is. He's one.
Although
smart
rats
rat.
are very intelligent.
True.
So.
True. So Casey hears the message that Charles leaves about the firing, and so he tells April. He says, I'm sorry. I'm sorry he got fired. And April gets mad at him for being insensitive. That whole conversation goes off the rails so quickly.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why.
You know why? Sweatpants aren't visible.
That's. I thought you were saying she's seeing it too much and it's getting her flustered. You're saying she can't see it.
I
so
think
it's
she
her...
was not looking at them. So she got angry.
So maybe as he was talking to her, he should have just been like slowly.
He should have just like, do you notice anything different about me?
See anything happening in this region? Fair point.
It could help. Couldn't hurt.
Casey and Donatello are let's be frank here. Casey's working on the car. Donatello's just sitting there,
kind of just
busting
hanging
balls.
out. Yeah.
And they go back and forth on insults.
Yep.
Here's what is.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here's what's rattled off.
Okay.
Zip neck, atomic mouth, barfaroni, camel breath, dome head, elf lips, fungoid, gack face, hose brain. And it seems like the game is that they're following the alphabet, except the first one is zip neck.
Are.
So is the idea that they've already gone through the whole alphabet and they're back at it again? But
yeah, I got that they were going through the alphabet. None of those seem like insults to me. Maybe I'm not.
My personal favorite's elf lips. Elf lips is incredible. I cannot.
How dare? That's like calling Raphael a freak. Where you're just like,
elf lips. These lips are not healthy.
How dare you? Can I list some other fun things that are my favorites?
I like it.
I love when they show the baby turtles.
Oh my God! Yes,
and they're
any flashback
saying
scenes are
pizza
so good.
and radical as these tiny little turtles standing on their two legs. Raphael blushing over April thanking him. I didn't know turtles could blush. This blew my mind.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, Michelangelo when he had the nunchuck off. It was kind of reminiscent of like Indiana Jones with like the shooting in the whip.
Yep.
April's art transitioning into the actual scene. So when she's drawing it, and then it's
transition.
like the picture. Oh,
I noted that. I was like, that's a soft
April.
transition. Yeah. And she's got a good hand. She's
She
a good
really
artist.
does. I like when Michelangelo and Donatello rock, paper, scissors for who fights Shredder. That was funny.
It was.
And then the end, when Splinter just casually throws Shredder over the edge without honor.
I enjoyed that.
Just like he charges at him.
Yep.
Splinter's been held up in chains. He's clearly weak because Danny and Casey have to carry him over their arms. And he just like has it like shoop, shoop. I don't know if he had a nunchuck or what that was, but just like tosses him over the edge. Like, listen, guy, I know what I'm doing.
And we're getting scenes of Raphael. He's still passed out in the tub.
Ugh, so rough.
April's solution is to like kind of romantically like do some Salt Bay with water.
It was like Free Willy. It reminded me of Free Willy. Like they're wetting him.
Yeah.
Like to keep
but not
him...
like a cup, just like little tiny.
No, like sprinkles.
Like he's a giant turtle. He might need like a cup. He might need something to really get him.
I just don't think she has ever encountered this before.
That's fair.
I think she wanted to be helpful and didn't know how.
Okay.
And so I respect that. Is it weird? Yes.
It feels a little romantic.
He's hunched over in a tub.
If that was Casey, there would have been some light saxophone music in the background, and it would have got uncomfortable very quickly. Which, speaking of, when Casey gives April a massage, it got
hot.
I had to look around and make sure. I was like, if this movie was PG-13 in the 90s,
and she's like,
you'd have been covering kids' eyes.
Yeah.
It's a little feisty.
Clearly not his first massage.
No. And April doesn't seem to be bothered by it.
No, I don't think she was.
Leonardo says he knows Splinter is alive, so he has the turtles come out in the woods to have a seance.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if seance is the right term.
Yeah, probably not.
Meditation.
Okay.
Over
Fair.
a campfire.
Raphael says, Leo, if you dragged us out here for nothing, what do you have better to do? You're in the middle of the woods.
You were in a tub for 4 days.
I didn't even think about that.
Come
Like, you've been sitting there. Like, we've been taking care of you. Just get your ass out here. And worst case scenario, we'll go to bed. Like,
Right.
what are you going to be
worried
out?
about?
Yeah. Take it. Again, you're angry.
There's no roof for him to stand on and shout, so
No.
he's just bitter.
That should be the new saying. It's not like you don't have legs to stand on. You don't have a roof to shout on.
Yeah. What's the matter with you?
You get April and Casey on the swing. The turtles come up and clear their throats to get their attention. And Casey says, "You guys know I hate when you do that. Clear their throats,
yeah, how
or
dare
interrupt your conversation. Like I don't know what it is that you hate, but again, there's just funny parts.
Interrupting the vibe?
Yeah, listen. I'm wearing gray sweatpants.
Right.
Could you?
I don't know if you noticed this going on right here.
It's gone from 6 to midnight over here. So if you could mind buzzing out of here, guys. I was trying. This is now the second season. I'm trying working in a 6 to midnight on a kids show.
I like it. Keep it coming.
The turtles razz Casey about being afraid of enclosed areas. You know, Casey's sensitive. What happened to you, Casey? What was your enclosed area situation?
That was something that went over my head, though.
Yeah.
Donatello says, you're a claustrophobic.
I would never got that.
Casey Jones says, you want a fist in your mouth? I've never even looked at another guy before.
I did not hear that line at all. Wow.
Yes.
Okay, that's...
So I'm like, whoo.
That's a
did
little
not
problematic.
catch that one.
I would file that under problematic potentially.
Maybe a little bit. But again, went over my head as a kid. So...
And also, he's claustrophobic, or he doesn't like enclosed areas. He goes and sleeps in his car. I guess he never falls asleep. He's uncomfortable. But like, you've gone from a bigger area to a smaller area. Seems confusing.
He's never even looked at a guy, Nick.
That's fine. What's fair is fair. He hasn't. This is where you get the flashback to where Splinter's learning the karate moves. Rokusaki comes to kill the wife, and there's the fight scene. Splinter chewing his face. I was dying laughing when he jumps at him and gets him.
He had it coming.
He did have it coming. You don't get to kill someone's wife without getting a little bite mark at the very least.
Plus, he was in love with her, so he kills her.
Yeah, there's
not a well thought out plan.
No, certainly not. Splinter doesn't know what happened to Saki, and he hasn't put the 2 and 2 together that on Danny's headband is the symbol.
I think it was tongue in cheek. He's like, well, no one knows what happened to him.
So
but
Splinter's
you
too wise.
do wear his insignia or what, however.
Splinter's too wise. That's fair.
Yeah. And then Danny's just like, wait.
So Splinter knew the whole time? He's just playing coy?
I don't know the whole time.
Okay.
I think he was piecing it together.
Okay.
Again, I haven't talked to him.
I mean, he went, again, he's quiet and carries a big sword and everything. Yeah. Michelangelo drops line, God, I love being a turtle.
Who doesn't?
Who wouldn't at that point?
Yeah.
You eat pizza, you kick ass.
Pop your head into your shell, pop it right back out.
It seems great.
Practical.
Yep. During the fight, Shredder says, you fight well in the old style. I said the old style being jujitsu and the Three Stooges. Like, what is the old style? Because it's
I took that to mean beer. I don't know.
You enjoy the finer things in life, like old style,
the champagne and beers.
I had my mind blown in this movie.
Okay.
Something that not only did I not realize as a child, that it took me 38 years, nearly 39, to realize that Shredder's name is not Shredder. It is the Shredder.
Right.
I thought it was Shredder.
I've
never heard him referred to as the Shredder, and I had to double check. I was like, "That's not right." Maybe like maybe it's like, listen, my father's name is Mr. Shredder. I'm Shredder, sort of thing. But I looked at IMDb; he's listed as the Shredder. I was like, my mind was blown. I thought his name was Shredder this whole time.
I think that's like a Mandela effect thing, where like you've changed it in your head.
Sure, Berenstain Bears, sort of a thing.
I've always called him Shredder.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But then, like in the movies, you'll hear them be like the Shredder. That takes too much time.
It's true.
But if I'm going to address him, first off, I got to be on my toes.
True.
I don't know if he's going to try and hit me.
Yeah.
So it's just Shredder.
Right.
Or Sir.
Maybe stop thinking about yourself and ask him, how would you like to be referred to? Is it Shredder or the Shredder?
Probably no one's asked him.
Is it Tim? Like, who knows? Who's to say?
I don't know.
Splinter shows up to save the turtles.
What else is
absolute
new?
Clutch. And when he flips Shredder over the building, it's just like you said, there's nothing better. Like he looks frail, he's weak, and I'll be damned if he doesn't absolutely just send that guy to his death.
Without honor.
And into a
garbage
truck, which crushes him
conveniently.
Well, Casey's there.
on it.
Casey's on it.
He's on it.
He knows how. Listen, he knows how to fix a truck. He knows how to wear a pair of gray sweatpants, and he knows how to operate a garbage
hell out
truck.
of those sweatpants.
He knows how to operate a garbage truck
Sure
at the
does.
right time. And this is where you get the kissing scene between Casey and April.
Yep.
When Casey walks up to her, he says, "I look like I just called Mike Tyson a sissy." Fair.
Yeah.
You don't need an ambulance, do you? Then shut up and kiss me. I've got a report to do. April's a strong woman. She doesn't take no guff.
No.
She's like, listen, I got work. If you're going to make a move, make a
Right.
move.
If you're gonna do this,
Otherwise,
get it over with.
get lost.
Yeah, I got work to do, guy.
She's not your average, damsel
I think that's why
in distress.
people like her.
And that's true.
Ladies love her. Men want to be with her.
But there's some great tidbits about her, by the way. Some fun facts about her
Okay.
that we'll get into. But this is the end of the movie. I challenge you to find a more 90s ending to a movie. You get all the turtles together yelling, awesome, bodacious, bitchin', gnarly, radical, totally tubular, wicked, hellacious, cowabunga. They've listed all of them, and then Splinter drops the cowabunga. He says, I made a funny. I was like, that's not really a joke. But
It wasn't. But they give it to him because he's old. He's wise.
Fine. We're kind of already laughing, so you get the credit.
okay,
but
yeah.
I think they just had to get. It's like when you're writing an essay and you have to get the word count at the end. You have to hit so many words.
Right.
They made sure to get their word count.
Yeah.
They hit every 90s kid's favorite saying, and then we were out, and we had some fun music.
Yep.
And that's how our movie ended. And I'll be damned if I didn't enjoy myself.
Unseen.
I had a hoot. You couldn't end it any better way.
Agreed. I have some unanswerable questions.
Okay.
How high were Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird when they created Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? So,
That is
listen, turtles that
Marvel?
somehow wander into ooze.
Marvel? Fuck
Yeah.
those guys.
Picture
Wait,
something
what
like
does your
that.
kid have in his room? He has a pet turtle, does he? Okay. All right.
So what if he was in a sewer, wanders into ooze, same time as a rat?
They
The
can
rat
fight.
trains them.
They are
because
fighting.
What is the turtle going to train the rat? That makes no sense.
Come on, let's not be ridiculous.
But again, it works.
It works.
So,
Works so well.
Well done.
200 million.
How on earth does this movie work? How did they pull off live action turtles that do ninja? That no part of that makes sense.
This movie in most people's hands would have been a shit show, I think.
Probably.
Yeah.
This is like Labyrinth-esque, where it's like, this should not work. And it does.
And it does.
And Labyrinth didn't. Moving on. Can turtles cry?
I'm not going to answer any more questions moving forward. Thank you. Can turtles cry? Can they?
They did in this movie.
Yeah.
I
They
don't
can
know
blush.
do they have tear ducts?
Who's to say?
I really don't know.
I need to call a turtlemologist, the Optima turtle papillopsy.
That's the one. Casey said that he played professionally for less than a year until he got injured.
Yeah.
What sport?
Hockey,
golf.
Also, I don't
lacrosse,
think
cricket.
Let's be frank here.
Bowling.
I don't think you get to say you played professionally if it was
Horseshoes.
less than a year. You don't get to say it. You have to clock in at least a year to say I played
Well,
professionally.
you can say he played professionally. They never allude to what sport, and he doesn't seem to favor
Fair.
anyone over another.
Maybe he was just a professional hustler, like you just
Professional gray sweatpants
professional
wearer at your service.
zaddy.
Final unanswerable question. Shredder's real name is Hiroku Saki. Do you think his finishing move is called a Saki bomb?
How long were you hold on to that? How long did you? How proud of yourself
For
were you?
a long time, Nick.
a little longer than I would like to
Saki
mention.
bomb.
All right, fine.
Dead or alive?
Judith Hogue, April O'Neil.
Alive.
She's alive.
Alive.
Elias Koteas,
Alive.
Casey Jones.
Alive. Elias
Let me
alive.
finish. All right, Smarty Pants. James Saito, who is the Shredder.
This feels like you're setting me up to say he's dead, but he's actually alive, and I'm going to fall for it. I'm going to say he is passed.
That's because you were correct in that I did set you up because he's alive.
I knew. I know how you work.
And then Michael Turney, Danny Pennington.
Oh, is this a Danny Purvis situation? I mean, who's to say? I'll say he's alive. I'm not confident, but I'll say he's alive.
Okay, well, he is alive.
Okay.
Here's your gift, Nick. All lives.
And I was wrong. I thought Shredder had passed.
The Shredder.
The Shredder. Pardon
When you're speaking to him directly.
Mr. The Shredder. Casting. Again, this is another movie where I go in thinking, oh, there's going to be a lot of juicy tidbits. And again, I've only found one role that was even in question.
Really?
April. Here's who is considered for April O'Neil. This is a murderer's row. Jennifer Beals, Marissa Tomei, Sandra Bullock, Nicole Kidman, Melanie Griffith, Sean Young, Lorraine Bracco, Winona Ryder, and Brooke Shields were all considered. I don't know if that means...
What does that mean, though?
Again, who's to say?
But people wanted them?
Yeah, it's like, that'd be nice. That'd be great.
I thought she was perfectly cast.
Well...
You don't agree?
I do agree, but she didn't enjoy herself. We'll get to that soon.
Trivia and facts.
So we already talked about Jim Henson, how he was involved.
Yeah.
Said the creatures were made out of fiberglass and then remolded out of clay, and then produced molds to cast the whole body in foam rubber latex. The work was completed in 18 weeks, so
it's pretty tight turnaround.
Seems pretty tight. And the costumes used state-of-the-art animatronics to make the face masks expressive. The masks include a set of internal animatronic mouths, eyes, and eyebrows, which were managed by a technician with the help of a computer. And they were able to code the expressions that they'd react. Like, it's...
Wow.
I'm sure the behind the scenes was wild in 1990.
1990,
or the late 80s making this. So yeah, it's pretty wild. Walt Disney Pictures, Columbia Pictures, Universal, MGM, Orion, 20th Century, Paramount, and Warner Brothers all say no. They all pass on this.
Yep.
They turned it down for distribution. They were worried that the cartoon and the toy line was popular, so the movie would be a flop.
Dumb.
Wrong. $200 million wrong. Because the Masters of the Universe movie had come out.
That's the same thing.
And they said, "Oh, that's a flop. So here's another cartoon and toy line movie that's gonna flop." Here. Well, so they go with New Line Cinema, who distributed low budget B movies and art house movies, and that was a good bet on their part because this is a huge hit.
To their credit, though, I saw that's how they approached Corey Feldman. That they're like, "Oh, this is just like a low level movie. It's not going to make any money." Yes. Do you know what they paid him?
I think I saw $1,500.
$1,500.
According to him. Now, again, I don't know where Corey Feldman's head is at these days, but that seems pretty low.
Let's say it was 10 times that. It made $200 million.
Yeah. I guess when you see those numbers, you go...
Maybe he deserved a little bit more.
Fair. Robin Williams was a big fan of the franchise.
Saw that.
And he provided Judith Hoag with information regarding her character.
Yeah, the comic books.
Robin Williams. The more you find out about Robin Williams, the more... You couldn't love a person more.
I know.
He's the best.
Thinks that he's gone.
All the people who played the Turtles had cameo roles in the film. Josh Pace, who played Raphael, plays a passenger in the back of a taxi cab. Michelin Sisti, who plays Michelangelo, plays the pizza delivery man who delivers the pizza.
Oh.
Leif Tilden, who plays Donatello, plays the foot messenger that meets April in the subway station.
Okay.
And David Foreman, who plays Leonardo, plays a gang member in the warehouse during Casey's fight with Tetsu. So they all have little cameos. Fun.
That's neat.
Mm-hmm. To help disguise how cumbersome and slow the Turtles' costumes were,
saw that.
Dialogue scenes were shot at 23 frames per second and then played at 24. And for the same reason, the fight scenes were shot at 22 or 23 frames per second.
I mean, that seemed pretty obvious watching it.
As I'm watching, I'm going, this is certainly not 24 frames per second.
This has got to be 22 frames.
Yeah, obviously.
Not a second more.
When Raphael got knocked into the trash can by Casey Jones, the face and the animatronics inside the head caved in and broke the stuntman's nose.
Oh, no.
Yes. So I guess if you watch it again, as Raphael gets up from the trash can, he's grabbing his nose before the shot cuts because he broke his nose.
Oh.
So thanks Casey.
With the cricket bat?
With the cricket bat. So his stuntman move into the trash can.
Actually hit the...
No, I think just him jumping in the trash can, just actually the face smashed and broke his nose.
Okay, well, either way, that's not fun.
No. Judith Hoag was not asked to reprise her role as April in the film's sequels due to her own personal complaining, particularly about the 6-day schedule and the amount of violence in the movie. One of the early ideas floated for the film, did you see this? They wanted to do it similar to Who Framed Roger Rabbit, in which the actors would be interacting with animated versions of the Turtles. However, they scrapped the idea for the Jim Henson.
I think that was a smart move.
Well, may I say, if they want to go back to the well, do that.
Fine,
I'll watch that.
fine.
Like every idea they want to try.
Again,
I'll watch.
every iteration of Turtles works. If they want to go like Spider-Verse, where there's different dimensions of Turtles, if they want to do fully animation, fully live, whatever, I'm on board for every version of Turtles. Sign me up today.
This is the last theatrical film that Jim Henson was associated with. This one.
Did you see anything about Eastman and Laird? Eastman sold his share of the Turtles franchise to Laird.
Oh, no. This is not the fact I thought you were going to say.
He sold his share to Laird in 2000. In 2009, Laird sold to Viacom, now Paramount Global, for $60 million.
So Eastman sold to Laird.
And then Laird, 9 years later, sold it to Paramount for $60 million.
Is there a number on how much Eastman sold it to Laird for?
No.
60
Can't imagine it's close to 60 mil, though.
60 mil. According to Raphael himself, Josh Pace, he was on a podcast called I Was There Too, where he said the director Steve Barron was fired near the end of production as the producers thought the film would become too dark. It's uncertain how different the film would have been if he had final cut. Again, a bit of hearsay, maybe. We don't know if that's the truth, but it could have taken a different turn. But the editor of the movie, Sally Menke, she's no slouch because she edited this movie, but also edited a lot of Quentin Tarantino movies. So
really,
yes, so she's like his editor. Like she's the go-to editor for all his movies. So
we got the Quentin Tarantino editor, and then we just have a bunch of
and you've got
music videos,
and you've got excellent IP from a comic book series that kids love. Like it feels like it's all handed to you on a platter to make something awesome.
There's just a lot of different weird pieces that somehow fit together to work.
Yeah. I love this little tidbit. Because the interior scenes in Wilmington were shot close to a nearby airport, this presented problems to the turtle performers' radio-controlled animatronic heads. They would receive signals from the control tower, causing their facial expressions to go in involuntary spasms.
No.
I would just love to be behind the scenes watching these. I was like that. It was. I love that fun fact.
And who figured that out? You know, like you see them tweaking, you're like, it's the airport control tower again.
Yep. In the 1980s, the first pitch that Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird got for the film was from Schlockmeister Roger Corman's New World Pictures. The idea was to have the turtles played by 4 comedians who were popular at the time: Gallagher, Sam Kinison, Bobcat Goldthwait, and Billy Crystal. The actors would be dressed in turtle shells and have their arms and legs painted green. Another treatment they received at the time took the turtles into R-rated territory and included a scene with partially nude nuns on roller skates fighting the heroes.
What?
So you just again, we've talked about how in the wrong hands, this movie could have been a disaster. It could have been ridiculous. It could have been offensive. So just imagine the
partially nude nun turtles.
Imagine the reality where we get Sam Kinison with green paint on him or partially nude nuns fighting.
That makes no sense.
For better or worse, this is what we got.
Well, then it's for better. Because this movie is incredible.
Yes.
Sequels, prequels, spin-offs, and such.
We got the TV series from the late 80s and early, all through the 90s. This movie in 1990, the sequel in 1991, The Secret of the Use, TMNT3 in 1993, which I didn't realize how quick those all.
That's the only
came
bad
out.
one.
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
I'd have to revisit. I'm sure I did. I'd have to revisit. I don't remember.
I probably watched it once. They go to Japan, so they're all like the old school.
Yep. Okay.
I thought 2 was solid, 3 man.
Yeah, 2 is definitely a good one. Then they reprised the TV series through the early 2000s, an animated movie in 2007, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in 2022, and then Mutant Mayhem this year.
Yep.
Which I haven't even seen the Mutant Mayhem.
Haven't seen that yet.
Seth Rogen and the bunch, but I'm sure it's enjoyable.
I'm in.
Is it appropriately reviewed or rated or reviewed? I said no. I thought the reviews did this movie dirty. I think so too. Solid. Like Siskel and Ebert aside, like Entertainment Weekly, you're out of your fucking minds. A zero. Get a grip.
Yeah. Better than Angels in the Outfield.
Better than Angels in the Outfield.
Is this entertaining? Yes. Does it make sense? Not really.
You don't need it.
But you buckle up and you enjoy it.
And did I enjoy it ever?
As did I.
Thank you for listening. Please follow, rate, review, like, and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and tune in next week when we review another cinematic masterpiece from our childhood. Until then, God, I love being a turtle.